Hello, I'm Roar, ready with another English review straight from my living room. And today we're going to talk about a really special speaker, MoFi Sourcepoint 888 or just 888. This beautiful creation is made by HiFi legend Andrew Jones and MoFi Electronics. Back in 2022, MoFi announced their collaboration with Andrew Jones, and with that they also announced the Sourcepoint 10. Shortly after, they also announced the Sourcepoint 8. Both received a lot of well-deserved praise. The Sourcepoint 8 even got an ASA award for Best Stand Mount Speaker. But the big question is, will this creation live up to the hype? I'm honestly not sure where to start this video, but these speakers are truly something special. A disclaimer, I was a huge fan of the smaller models too, but I have to say that these speakers are just something else. The bass is some of the most precise but far from being boring I have ever experienced. And if you like numbers, these speakers go as deep as 32 Hz with two 8-inch paper cone woofers in each speaker. Whatever music I play on these speakers, they can handle it with ease. Even the most complex drum pattern that Thomas Hake of Meshuggah can play is just so tight but really engaging. And if you want a deep bass, slap on some Billie Eilish and the density of the bass will fill up every corner in your room. Honestly, the bass is so good that it sounds like there are two subwoofers hidden somewhere in this room. It's just so much fun to listen to. If you prefer a really bright sound, these speakers may not be for you, unless you have a DSP heavy amplifier like the Lyngdorf TDI 3400, but more on that later. The upper mid-range and treble is rather laid back and soothing. Nothing sounds harsh, offensive, or in your face in a bad way. Compared to the Sourcepoint 8 and 10, I also find these ones to be quite a bit clearer and cleaner in the mid-range and treble too, which I personally prefer quite a bit. My guess is that by adding the two 8-inch woofers that is focused to play from 32 Hz to 130 Hz, frees up a lot of space for the dedicated 8-inch mid-range. That way, the mid-range doesn't have to use a lot of energy to do these big movements. And now it also works as a more stable waveguide for the soft dome tweeter, which is located right in the middle of the mid-range. For the up-and-coming hi-fi nerd, that design is called a concentric driver or a point source. Get it? Point source? Source point? All in all, the vocal reproduction is on point. No matter the volume or the amount of bass or the amount of distortion in the guitars, it never overshadows the vocals. It just sounds phenomenal. And if you're a metalhead like me, slap on some Lorna Shore or Knocked Loose and these speakers will blow you away. The wall of sound is huge without ever being fatiguing for your ears. It's just a magnificent speaker. Magnificent. For most of my listening, I used my trustworthy Lyngdorf TDI 3400. And as you can guess, I loved it. My background in music is from the world of music studios. So I have always preferred a little bit of a saturated brightness in my speakers, even though that has started to shift a little bit lately. As I mentioned, the Sourcepoint 888 is not a bright speaker, but I could easily add some of that brightness with my trustworthy Lyngdorf amplifier, and it showed no issues or harshness with that treble boost at all. But not everyone likes to tweak the sound signature of a speaker with DSP, so I tried out a small bunch of different amps, and there is one amp that really blew me away, and that was the Hegel H390. Holy guacamole, that amp was good. Compared to my Lyngdorf amplifier, the Hegel was just plug and play, and it sounded instantly so good. It was just something with the warmth and the laid-back sound from the Sourcepoint that matched so well with the cleanliness and the control from the Hegel amplifier. That was just perfect. The Sourcepoint 888 is not a small speaker, quite the opposite actually. Each speaker is 107 centimeters tall, the width is 32 centimeters, the depth is 41, and the weight is whopping 43 kilos, each speaker. At first, it looks like a traditional vintage speaker, often described as a boring black box, but Andrew and MoFi has made a really modern looking front baffle with these diamond-like patterns on the front, which also helps with internal and external sound reflections. On the sides, there is a slight angle that adds some stiffness, also breaks up some internal reflections, and it also makes this rather big speaker have some kind of a slimness feeling, if that makes sense. There is a bass at the bottom that adds to the high-end feeling of the speaker, but also the stability, which is perfect if you have children running around or a drunk friend falling over them.
Don't be that friend.
All in all, it's just a classy retro look with the perfect amount of modern details without it looking like a tacky alien spaceship, or in the other direction, like a boring black box, or in my case, a boring walnut box. Talking about colors, if walnut doesn't match your interior, you can also get them in white or in black. Some other really nice details worth mentioning about the speaker cabinet is on the inside they have made separate chambers for each woofer and also one for the mid-range. That way, no matter how much the woofers move, the internal air pressure never affects the other one or the mid-range. All of this also adds to the stiffness of the cabinet, which again reduces cabinet resonances. Another nice thing with the Sourcepoint 888 is the addition of 4 speaker inputs on the back. That gives you the opportunity to bi-amp the speakers if you want more power out of them, or you could bi-wire them if that's your thing. How you place these speakers in your room is important. They are not the most easily placed speakers I have experienced. They sound good no matter what, but you won't get the full potential if you place them close to the back wall. Me and my friends spent some time moving them a little bit around just to experience how much of a sound difference there is. And the Phantom Center really opened up and was way more precise as soon as the speakers got lifted a little bit from the back wall. The bass became even more precise, slightly less boomy. And for some reason, they also looked smaller in my room as soon as I got them a little bit out from the back wall. If you got this far into the video, thank you so much. And as you can guess, I truly like these speakers. I like them so much that I'm actually considering buying myself a pair, and so should you. Anyway, I recommend that you visit your local HiFi Klubben store and ask if you can get the chance to listen to them, because you won't regret it. Now it's time for me to listen to more music, so have a great day and I will see you later. Cheers!